In this video, I'll show you how to add real images to your Google Activities to deepen your students' understanding, and I'll also show you how you can design your activities so that students can insert images as well. Now, adding real photos as opposed to clip art really helps your students make those real-world connections. At the end of this video, I'll show you how students can take ownership of their work by adding a photo of themselves using their computer's camera. So let's get started. Now, the great thing about Google Apps is that no matter which application you're in, Google Docs, Slides, or Drawings, you'll always insert an image the same way. Now, I'm going to use Slides to demonstrate, but again, the process is essentially the same in each application. In this activity, students are learning about urban communities. I've written some content and I need a few more photos to go with it. So what I'll do is I'll click Insert at the top of the screen, then I'll click Image, and then I'll go over and click Search the Web. The first image I want is of a New York subway. So I'll type that in and then hit Enter on my keyboard. I can scroll through the photos by using this scroll bar on the right-hand side of the screen, and I'll stop when I get to a photo that I like. Now, if I wanted to insert more than one image, I could just simply click on multiple images and click Insert at the bottom of the screen. But for this case, I'm just going to insert one image, and I can just double-click on that to make it appear on the screen. Now, to make this image smaller, what I'll do is I'll click this blue box in the corner of my image. I'm going to click and drag it until it's the size I want. Then I'll reposition it on my slide. Now you can see all of my other photos have more of a rounded shape to them. I think it's a little more friendly, so I like to crop my photos. I'm going to click on my photo, then up in the toolbar, I'm going to look for the crop image icon, and then right next to it is a down arrow. I'm going to click that down arrow, click Shapes, and then I'll go over to my rounded rectangle. You can see my shape has changed. If I want to add a border color, I can click on the image, go up to the border color icon in the toolbar, and choose a color. Now, the last photo I need is of taxis. This time, I'm going to make it a little bit easier, and I'm just going to go to the image icon right on my toolbar. I'll click it, then I'll go right to Search the Web. This time, I'm going to type in taxis and hit Enter. This is the photo I want to use in the upper right-hand corner, so again, I can just quickly double-click. I'll resize my image by clicking in the corners on those blue squares. When it's the size I like, I'm going to crop it. Again, I'm going up to the crop down arrow in the toolbar, Shapes, rounded rectangle, and again, I'll add my border color. You can also add images from your computer or from your Google Drive, and you'll do this the same way. Just click the image icon in the toolbar and either select Upload from Computer or your Drive, and then you'll just find the photo and upload it. Now, imagine if this slide was filled with clip art. Students really wouldn't get that same understanding of what an urban community looks like. So again, these photos really can strengthen your content. I've used images for science, for math. I've also used it for word study. Now I'm going to switch gears. Now I want to show you how you can design activities for your students to insert images. In this activity, I'm going to have students insert an image of the California's governor, a map of California, and an image of the Capitol building in Sacramento. I find it helpful to put boxes on my screen where I want students to insert their photos. Not always do you need these image boxes, but sometimes it's helpful. So what I'll do is I'll delete these boxes and then we'll recreate them together. In order to make that rounded oval, I'm going to go to the shape icon in the toolbar. I'll click Shapes. I'll click again that rounded rectangle. I'm going to click and drag the rectangle out until it's the size I prefer. Now, if I want to change the color of this rectangle, I can click Fill Color up in the toolbar, and I can choose the color I would like it to be. I can also change the border color. I can change the border weight if I want the border to be a little bit thicker, and I can even click Border Dash here and make it a dotted border. Now, because I want 3 of these same boxes, I'm just going to click on the box. I'll hit Control C on my keyboard for copy, then Control V for paste. And then I'll put my box into the place I want it to be. Again, paste, and now I have 3 boxes. Now, I also find it helpful to label these boxes with what I want students to put inside of them. So what I'll do is I'll double click in the box, and then I'm simply going to type image of California's governor. I can do the same thing with the other 2 boxes. Again, I'll double click. If you want that to be centered, you can highlight it, go up to the Align button in the toolbar, and click Center. I want to align these boxes, so I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard, and then I'm going to click on each of the boxes as I hold down Shift. I'm going to right-click and go down and click Align vertically, and then click Middle. Now my boxes are in line. This next example is another example of a template that I created for my students where I included image boxes for them to fill in. Instead of using Insert Image here, I just inserted an image icon, and you can find this by just typing in image icon right in your Google search. Now, you don't always have to create templates or insert those image boxes for your students. In this example, my students were given a completely blank Google drawing, and they had to create a digital poster to show what they knew about California's geography. By not giving them certain boxes that they had to fill, it really allowed them to be more creative with their poster. You just have to decide when you want your students to be more creative and when it would be more beneficial for them to have exact places to put images. And maybe it depends on your student as well. Some students might benefit from having that image box. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how students can insert their own photos of themselves to take ownership of the slide that they're working on. In this example, students are introducing themselves, and in order to insert an image of themselves, they'll click this image button in the toolbar. Then they'll go down to Camera and they'll click Camera. Now, most likely, a box will pop up asking if Google is allowed to access your computer's camera, and you want to make sure students click Allow. When they're ready to take their photo, I just remind them to look at their webcam wherever it is located on their computer, and then click the yellow camera button. They can take up to 3 images. Once they pick the one they want, they can click it, and then click Insert in the bottom right-hand corner. Students will resize the image just as we did. They'll click the corners, drag it in. They can rotate the photo also if needed. In this last example, I have a space where students can crop their photo. If you want to crop your photo into a shape, you can click it, then click the crop button, then click the down arrow and crop it into the shape that you prefer. Then you can just drag these black lines in on the side and click crop again. Students love taking the photos of themselves, and it's really a great way for them to personalize their slide and take ownership of the work that they've created. I've had students put photos on All About Me activities, end of the year slideshows, poetry celebrations and slides, but you can even have them add them to regular assignments. Well, that is all for this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please rate us on TPT and make sure to let your teacher friends know where they can find this course.